in Jerusalem outside of the psychiatric committee meeting that took place for Joelle today. And hello.
Hi.
And you are?
In Balbaon.
And what kind of lawyer work do you do?
I'm doing everything that has to do with relationship between the citizen and authorities, because authorities has enormous power over citizens, and you have to use the rules of administrative law to balance this power and to protect human rights against procedures that can take someone's freedom in this case.
So in the case of Joelle, we understand, because it was the readers read yesterday, that she was just literally went to Aliet Shaket's, did a protest and ended up in a psychiatric hospital. That's kind of how it went. Have you any more that you can tell people how she got here, and is she dangerous? And
No, she's not dangerous. I mean, the whole thing with dangerousness is okay. Let me tell you about this dangerousness thing. Until 1991, the health authorities could hospitalize a person in a psychiatric yard if he's mentally ill. And since 1991, the law added requirements, and now he has to be also dangerous. Now, most people that has mental issues are not dangerous, but in order to justify the mental hospitalization, they have to mention in the records that they're dangerous, even if they're not, because only if you mention that they're dangerous, that's the way the hospitalization can take place. So ever since the law has become more with more strict demands from the authorities to hospitalize,
everybody's dangerous suddenly.
Yeah, everyone, is dangerous, and it can be absurd sometimes. Like, someone can raise his voice or raise his hand or make a threat that each one of us does. Like, see, I'm not through with you, or I'm gonna get you. But what did I say right now? I can make you shame on Facebook. It does not mean necessarily that I'm gonna hit you.
Or you need to be locked in a psychiatric
unit. Exactly.
Unit.
What they do is take every minor insignificant threat, or every hand gesture which is too grotesque, and turn it into a violence.
Into a crisis.
Yeah,
can I ask
violence.
You, what happened in the case of Joelle then? What's going to happen to her today? And what we've read is, this is scandalous. I mean, she literally just protested quietly.
Yeah.
And the next thing, she's in hospital. Is there a connection between what she did and why she's in hospital?
See, in Israel, it's very popular for citizens who are unhappy with decisions of authorities, to protest either in front of the minister's house or in front of minister's office.
Okay.
She chose to protest instead of in front of minister's office. I mean, she didn't even go to her house. Some people do this. She stood there quietly. She just protested, and she wanted to talk to the minister. And many people does this in all areas of life. They demand to speak to the responsible minister.
So why did she suddenly get seized by an ambulance on the promise that she was going to see Aliet Shaket that evening? She went home to have a shower. The next thing, she's been grabbed by two people in an ambulance and taken for questioning.
I guess it's the authorities did not internalize that enforced hospitalization is a very severe method against, it's a very severe and aggressive action against human rights.
Against our human rights.
Many, procedures and cautions and administrative stages has to be taken on the way to make it, to hospitalize only if there is justification. And
is there justification for Joelle?
No, she
None.
There's no disease, there's no violence. I mean, legally there is no justification. I mean, there is a thinking that if you don't like someone's behavior, or if you don't like someone's thinking, if someone is seeming a bit odd, a bit weird, a bit, you wouldn't
It's
do what
not an
he does.
excuse. So can I ask you, what's going to happen to Joelle today, do you think, when the decision comes?
We hope. I mean, we're three lawyers.
Three lawyers, three journalists, boy, busy day, and the TV coming tomorrow.
And
no small story.
Make argument to free her, and the hospitalization has no legal basis whatsoever.
But you had a fight. It's been an hour and a half in there. You were at least an hour and a half.
If they're not freeing her, we're going tomorrow to district court to go on appealing. I mean,
this is outrageous. This is outrageous.
No
a grown
legal
woman.
base.
She's a grown woman.
See, there is a law that says what are the criteria to hospitalize a person.
Okay, we're going back in for the decision. Okay, so we're going back in for the decision now. Let's hear what's been said.
I mean,
how do you feel about these violations?
They free her, because if they're not, we're going to district court.
I have one question to ask you. People outside really believe that Israel is a full democracy, the human rights are out of this world, and people don't get abused in the way that I write the stories. What do you say to that as a lawyer? Do you agree that it's perfect?
I mean, in all areas of administrative law, there is abuse of power.
Okay.
I mean, it happens in taxing, in municipal taxing, for example. That in municipal taxing, a person can own a store in the year of 1985,
Okay.
and he did not pay some kind of municipal tax, and after 30 years the municipal authorities all of a sudden remember this and come to collect debt with interest.
Let's go and get the decision. Let's get the decision. Thank you.